Good morning.
Good
Welcome
morning.
to this edition of Coffee with Carrie, Adam, and Not Storm. We have Amanda Goolsby today stepping in. What's up, Amanda? How are
Go.
you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am excellent today. Adam, how are you this morning?
I'm amazing, man. I'm actually sharing this to my Facebook right now, like my personal Facebook. That's why
How do I do that?
So if you just go to Facebook, you go to ISI Elite Training HQ,
Okay.
you can just share it.
Okay. ISI.
Types of things that we should do when we're in the green room, guys.
Totally.
No, you can't until you go live. See,
It's
I can
okay.
share
It's okay.
business pages,
I
but
love your sweatshirt, man. It makes you look like Bill Belichick.
are you a Bill Belichick fan? You are.
I am. And what I appreciate is that I look at you as like the ultimate coach, and I look at Bill Belichick as the ultimate coach. I think you should start pioneering that style for gentlemen in their 30s.
Yeah, I was actually the advocate for this. Tennille and the team told me absolutely not, and they pulled out. So
Well, they don't have a show, do they?
they don't. They're not as cool as us.
No, I understand that. Anyways, I don't know where Amanda went, but we always talk about Amanda being a part of the ISI team, our director of pre-sales. She's beautiful. You can see right here. So she works with our onboarded franchisees through the process to make sure that, oh, we lost her.
She'll come back. She's got to click the link.
That we are opening up our businesses as successfully as possible with as many members pre-sold as humanly possible. We start running the pre-sales process 10 to 14 weeks out from opening, and we have target goals. And I will let Amanda talk a little bit about what it means to get into pre-sales and why it's so successful to launch a business that way.
Awesome. I got like the last 10 or 15 seconds of that, but I think I got the gist of it.
I know.
So pre-sales is what you want me to share. So yeah, I'm happy to share about pre-sales. So first thing is, when I started in the fitness industry, well, let's say when I started in the world of boutique fitness franchising, summer of 2012, I was in a 10 by 10 tent in the middle of a parking lot in Ahwatukee, Arizona. And at that point, there was no such thing as Facebook advertising. There was no such thing as lead generation on Facebook, which I know seems like really crazy to think about for those of you that see Facebook ads on your newsfeed every single day. But I was told, hey, I was 23 years old at the time, and I was told, here's a pre-sale. You need to pre-sell memberships, and it's required that you have a minimum of 200 memberships, or else you guys are not allowed to open the business. Well, someone else had been owning the pre-sale, and they were failing miserably. We were 3 weeks out from opening, and we had 75 pre-sold memberships. And at that point, the brand that I was working with, called Orange Theory Fitness, was pretty unknown across the country. This was studio number 0007 that I was pre-selling. And the education was minimal at that time. They had given us some ideation. They had given us some, like, maybe try this, do this. But mind you, with no Facebook ads, it is really hard to generate hundreds and hundreds of leads, especially if your team structure and your resources aren't set up for it. So how did I sell? Between the time that I got handed that pre-sale and the night we opened, we ended up going from 75 to 150 in 3 weeks. Granted, like 45 of them were on the grand opening night. Now, at that time, Orange Theory wasn't like so strict about minimum numbers to open. They had a set standard of 200, but they were a little bit lenient. Now, no way. You don't have 250. You're not even getting approval to do anything inside your studio before opening. So I hustled. I hustled my butt off. I was in the Ahwatukee, Arizona parking lots, flyering cars in the middle of 110 and 115 degree weather every day for 3 weeks, because that was my only option. I didn't know what else. I'm like, how else do I talk to people, meet people? So I just be in front of Whole Foods, be in front of Sprouts, handing out cards. So we open with 150, which in that business model is equivalent to like a net $15,000 a month loss. And at that point, being the manager, I felt a lot of personal responsibility to like get that business to being successful. And although it wasn't my business and I wasn't the owner, I like committed the next 6 months of my life to studying the topic of leadership. From summer of 2012 to December, one of my mentors, who was the area rep for all of Arizona, he sat me down. Shout out Travis Renner. He sat me down and he said, "You're kind of a bitch, and if you don't learn leadership, you're going to fail at this company." And that fateful day, that fateful conversation, when he pushed a book across the table and put it in my hands, it changed the entire trajectory of my life. Because on that day, he saw potential in me that I didn't know I had. He believed in me before I believed in myself. And what it did was it put me on this path of leadership development and personal development. And I share that because within 6 months, we had gotten to profitability. So by the end of the year, we were at 300 members. The business was profitable. By the following summer, when we had been open for a year, we were at like 550. So we were net $20,000 profit a month within a year of that business being open. But what I realized was that it was so hard to go from 150 to 300. Like just to get to that profitability, it felt like a grind. I'm talking, I was at that studio open to close probably 6 days a week. I would open the business, sometimes teach the classes, sleep on my office floor in the middle of the day, shut the door while my sales associates are out there working, take a nap because I was living about 30 minutes away. And then I'd do the same thing in the afternoon, and I would teach class, or I'd be present in the lobby, or I'd be selling memberships. And it was a grind for those first 6 months. And after that, I was like, I never want to have to work that hard to get a business to profitability again. So I started really tuning into the fact that the only way that that was possible was if I became a master at this thing called pre-sales. And so between 2013 and 2017, I either helped open, launch, went in and ran trainings for, facilitated 3-day workshops for, about another, specifically for pre-sales, about another 25 to 30 locations for Orange Theory all around the country. Sometimes owners would reach out to me that were opening in a new market, and they'd say, "Hey, would you consult for us? I'll fly you to Seattle, launch our team in pre-sales for 3 days, train them how to do what you do and know what you know, and then I would fly back to Arizona." And so Arizona was like my home base, but I went and launched the Charleston market in 2014. I went and launched Seattle in 2014. I then made a transition and moved to Utah. And so I got to open Orange Theory in a lot of markets, being first to market across the country, where everyone says things like, "Oh, pre-sales, yeah, that's not going to work with our brand," or "Pre-sales, that's not going to work in a new market where no one knows us." Heads up, guys, it works. It works everywhere. It works in any market. It works in any membership-based business. And the reason I know is because I'm doing it right now with multiple brands across the country. People said, "OsteoStrong, not going to work. It's not a gym. They don't have treadmills. They don't have rowing machines. They don't have weights. We're different." I'm like, "No, you're not." I'm like, "Do you have memberships? And do you want to make money in your business?" And then one owner, one regional developer said, "Yes, I do. I do sell memberships, and I do want to make money in my business." I'm like, "Great, then let's implement a pre-sales process." And so as I connected with Adam and was able to say, "Hey, I've done this over and over and over again, but not only have I done it, I've done it extremely well, to the point where in 2016, by the time I mastered the process, and I'm still learning totally. There's things that come up in every training. There's ideation that comes when we're in a room, when I'm like, "Hey, what ideas do you have for marketing?" And I'm like, that is so freaking genius. Like coffee dates, like
We're having a coffee date right now.
We are having a coffee date. I think we lost her.
coffee
Seems pretty geared up about pre-sales though.
I don't know if she can hear us.
With women is one of the things that came up last week. Like host coffee invitation coffee days where women can connect at a coffee shop and learn about each other and then get an invitation to see if we're a fit for them to come and try to do pre-sales. The lifetime success of their business is
I'm gonna try and have her log out and log back in. Man, log out, log back in. You're freezing. You're freezing.
10.
Oh man, that girl is like the Energizer Bunny. I wonder if she gets tired. Do you think she sleeps?
I don't know.
She's like Bruce Wayne, right?
Like she's on the West Coast time. So it's like, hey, for any of you guys watching, we got 15 viewers right now, which is like
they don't have internet on the West Coast.
They do have internet on the West Coast, but stay with us because she's gonna talk leadership here in a second, and it's gonna be fire once she gets logged back in. But yeah, she's on the West Coast, so it's 5:50 a.m. there. I got a message this morning. She said, "Hang tight, I'll be right there." I got a message at my time at 6:15 a.m. So that's what 3:15 a.m. West Coast time. But yeah, I think she goes to bed at like 7 a.m. though, or 7 p.m. though.
Got it.
Which is like 10 our time on the East Coast. So how's your day doing? You doing good?
My day is going great.
Yeah.
It's going great.
What time is it in New York? You 9 a.m.?
Yeah. Listen, we talk about this all the time. You're a very good, dedicated morning person. Your brain works at 5 o'clock in the morning, or you force it to. And without any effort, my brain turns right on at 10 p.m. every single night. It is 1,000% my witching hour. And from 10 p.m. till 1 a.m., I can sit at my computer and grind out spreadsheets like nobody's business.
I love it.
That's what works.
Right now. So, yeah, if you guys are watching this, hang tight. We're going to talk leadership here in just 1 second. As soon as Amanda gets back on, she was having some difficulties.
We'll make her come back tomorrow if we have to.
We could. We're losing viewers. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I mean,
to the to some of our
as pretty
facilities.
as we are, it's we're not the main attraction here, Adam.
I know, right? But anyways, so while we're waiting for Amanda to come back on, for those of you guys that follow this show, Storm Miller is not having the weather today. So Carrie, can you give me a condensed version of what the weather is going to do in New York today?
Hold please. Looks like the sun's going to peak out in about 4 hours. But for now, it's going to be about, I would call it a 3 out of 10 on the rainy scale. It looks semi-bleak, low cloud cover. Not the day I'd want to be flying in an airplane.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, it's actually beautiful here in Charlotte. Mark Myers had commented and he said, "I'm tapped in. I need tips on growing my online clothing brand. www.lovealways.shop." So yeah, Mark, I think you'll gain a lot from what Amanda's about to say, and probably in a way you didn't think that you would. So, I think let's give her an extra minute here to see if she can get her internet locked back in. If not, then we'll have to detour potentially to tomorrow or later this afternoon. Did she texted you?
No, I'm just looking at we're at 15 minutes. I think maybe we pull plug and shoot for part 2 with Amanda tomorrow or later in the week on leadership.
Cool. I'm good with that.
All right.
All right, buddy. I'll talk with you.
Kick you to Storm Miller for the weather in Philadelphia.
Oh, Storm, where you at?
He's not here. Just play some videos. It'll be like he was here and nobody noticed. He just didn't go. It's fine.
All right.
Oh my gosh, it feels awesome. It's close to home. It feels like family when I come here every time. I love the workout. I love the push. I love that they pay attention to what you're doing and make sure you're doing it right.
Oh man, she's back.
Oh my gosh.
I'm back. I just had to take a quick time out, but I'm back.
Submarine live version. I love it.
So I was
Can
saying,
we reboot? Carrie, do you
What do you
have
mean?
like 12 minutes?
Take it off the air.
It's a shorter version so that we can reuse it for content.
Yeah, 1000%. I just got a call from a candidate, so she asked for a call right now. So I was responding. I thought we were done, but we can go. I'll just push it out till later.
9:10.
She's
go.
taking a session
End it.
in your North Turtle Birch.
I'm going to relaunch it real quick. I'll send you guys the link.
All right.
And all we're going to talk about Amanda's leadership.
Okay.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.